the Irish contributions to the culture of the United States. Let us begin with the first Irish immigrants. The potato famine killed more than 1 million people in 5 years. Many Irish thought that Britain should have done more to help their subjects who starved. A flood of immigrants left Ireland in 1847. Some went to Great Britain and Australia, but most went to America. This is because the fares on the Canadian ships were cheaper, so many would go to Canada, then walk into the United States. On these ships were men and women that brought amazing innovation and art. Most of the names we hear commonly used in America have Irish origin. Some examples of these include Ryan, Brandon, Logan, Austin, Kevin, Connor, Kyle, Sean, Patrick, Riley, Brianna, Megan, Kylie, Aaron, Claire, Molly, Kelly, Tara, Morgan, and Allison.
Among these Irish immigrants were some of the most prominent icons of their time. People from scientists to entertainers were flooding into America, and what they brought with them were some of the most groundbreaking innovations in history. Perhaps the most famous is an Irishman named Henry Ford, creator of the Ford Motor Company. Henry Ford developed the first large-scale assembly line at the start of the 1900s. The assembly line radically improved production so that by 1925, the price of a Model T, aka a Tin Lizzie, had dropped from almost $900 down to less than $300. Everywhere, Americans were buying their own personal cars. Transportation of people and things had ultimately changed forever.
In Ireland, the most prevalent religion is Roman Catholic. Catholics make up 22% of the American population, at about 70 million people. Nearly 35 million Americans report having Irish heritage. This is the second largest group behind Germans. With Ireland at a population of about 5 million, America has 7 times the amount of people with Irish ancestry than the actual country. Cities with high percentage of Irish heritage include Pittsburgh at 17%, Boston with 16%, Philadelphia has 14%, and Louisville has 13%, to name a few. The Irish love their food and their beer. Some foods that the Irish have contributed to American culture are corned beef and cabbage, potatoes, and boiled pork products like ham and bacon. Irish pubs are also a major contribution to American culture. Guinness Beer is an Irish beer company, and they actually plan on building a brew house outside of Baltimore, Maryland soon. An average of 6 million people drink this beer brand here in America.
Ever since 1991, the month of March has been Irish Heritage Month because of the important holiday of St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day in America is not only about green beer and leprechauns, it's time to celebrate the deep Irish culture and Roman Catholic background of many Irish Americans. An annual tradition in America is the parades through many of the cities. Some of the biggest are in Boston, New York City, and Philadelphia. The parade in New York City is the biggest and longest in the world, including the parades in Ireland. Another tradition is in Chicago, where they dye the Chicago River green. Many Irish Americans spend St. Patrick's Day watching their city's parades and attending church, also enjoying their traditional Irish foods.
Well, it's a bucket list for me. I'm 50 years this year, so wanted to see the parade. Enjoying it, living it.
My husband paid for me to come for my birthday. It's amazing, yeah, great.
Oh, it's fantastic. You ordered great weather, and it's a fantastic parade. You don't realize how many service people you have here until you see this parade.
My civic duty. I have to as an Irishman.
Where are you from?
Belfast, Ireland. It's a lot quieter than this.
Raining.
And cold.
My favorite part? Oh, it has to be the marching bands. They really get you into the spirit. the spirit of unity. That's, I think it's important to show our unity at this time.
Another area where we can see lots of Irish influence is in sports. These sports teams are one that you can see on TV today. The Boston Celtics are a professional NBA team in Boston, Massachusetts, who hold 17 national championships. The Celtic is a notoriously famous Irish symbol representing a cross. The logo for the Boston Celtics? A leprechaun spitting a basketball on his finger, dressed in shamrocks all over. Another team, or rather a university as a whole, is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The University of Notre Dame, located in Notre Dame, Indiana, is home to nearly 13,000 students and was founded completely on Irish origins. The Notre Dame mascot is a leprechaun who you can see patrolling the field with a Notre Dame flag before every football game. Even the players' football helmets read Irish in capital letters on the very front. Clearly, the University of Notre Dame is proud of its Irish origins. Different cultures among different countries are known to have their own dialect and slang. This holds true for Irish culture, and there are many phrases that you can hear on the streets today that originated from Ireland. The first is paddy wagon. A paddy wagon is more commonly known as a police vehicle. Another is the Fighting Irish, which refers to the undefeatable Irish spirit. A Donnybrook is a heated argument. A phony is someone who's a fraud. Galore is an abundance of something. A hooligan is someone who's a troublemaker. A slob would be the name to someone who's messy or unorganized. Whiskey is a dark liquor. And lastly, folktale is a tale or a legend usually told orally. Why else do you think kids would believe there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow?